Hey guys,
Oh,
ho! Guys, welcome to Thundercats Lair. It's myself and JP. What's going on, JP?
not much, man. Not much. I get so hyped when I see
Oh
that
man,
opening sequence, man.
honestly,
That's like,
honestly, I still say to this day, that there has never been a better introduction made since in the '80s. Like seriously, they just don't make cartoon intros like the Thundercats intro. I mean, seriously, like Silverhawks comes pretty close. I love the Silverhawks intro, especially because in that intro, Bluegrass is strumming his guitar. It is it's so cool that one is actually in the episode.
yeah,
But I mean the energy, you know what I mean? The everything about that intro, the Thundercat symbol just flying across third earth, landing on Lino and just like energizing, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. It's
yeah,
just crazy. I mean, you have the He-Man intro, he puts the sword up, he tells his little story, but with almost no words, just a song, right? The Thundercats intro is just bang, 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 bang. It's just crazy. You know what I mean? It's just
it's awesome, dude.
what were you? What did you feel when like? I remember when I was like what was I like 10, 11? So it was like we were young, man. We were really young. I remember the first time I was watching. I remember this vividly. I was watching WUTV Buffalo 29. It was an American station here in Canada, and I remember the first time waking up. Sorry, I was not waking up. I remember getting home from school, and it was like 3:30, maybe 4 o'clock. And all of a sudden, I sit down and I'm like, "Oh, there's what show is on now? Right? This should be the time for GI Joe or maybe He-Man or whatever." And I'm
Yeah,
sit down and then all of a sudden I hear, like, dude, I literally just heard that Thundercats call, and I was like, "What is this thing? What's going on?" I lost my mind. What were you thinking when you first saw it? Like, what were you thinking?
man. I wish. It's crazy. It's like I can remember iconic moments in my childhood. I remember sitting down, eating Captain Crunch, watching Thundercats. You know what I mean? But as far as like the first time that I saw that, I don't think I can recall. But
Yeah,
it's just like it's been so long. You know what I mean? But man, it's something that when you hear that theme song play, for me, it's just I get goosebumps, man.
man,
And it's all
dude,
about the feels. Like you just remember
bro.
that innocence, that era of innocence, good memories, warm memories. It's all happiness and positivity. It was the '80s, man. You know what I mean?
Bro, I mean, seriously. I mean, just come on, listen to this. This is just in freaking insane. Let's do it, JP. Thunder! 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 Thundercats! Whoa! Oh my god.
Wow. We got to do that one,
You
man.
can't,
We
you
got to do
can't
like a barbershop quartet, like all three of us at the same time.
oh my
Larry,
god.
you and I.
You can't get that. Yeah. Yeah. You, me, Danny, the quartet, man. You, me, Danny, and Carlos. We should just like completely do the whole thing, man. Like, dude, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And then you start seeing all the Thundercats being, they do the fade in call. They just keep each one of them, right? Like every single one of the Thundercats just comes into view. Then you get Snarf and he like runs out, and then of course you see Chitara running. You see freaking everybody whipping and Panthro doing his little Nunchaku thing. And man, it's the most high energy. It's literally the most manic freaking thing I've ever seen on commercials. Like
Yeah.
sorry, on a cartoon intro.
Yeah,
Like,
syndicated TV is the craziest.
brother, it was crazy. Silverhawks, in comparison, was like really slow, man. It was just kind of like they were cool, right? GI Joe was fun, right?
Yeah.
Like each GI Joe sequence was fun, right? The ones where they're training and they're doing other things, and they do one transition to another transition to another transition. But I really would be hard pressed to ever be able to match the energy, the excitement, and just the sheer joy of Thundercats. The introduction. This is just crazy, and I hope that we can match that in some sort of movie format. JP, we've been dreaming and hoping and wishing for a Thundercats movie forever. I mean, it has been absolutely ridiculous. What would you like? What are your thoughts about Thundercats the movie? I mean, okay. First of all, before we talk about the live action film, if there is ever going to be one, let's talk about the original Thundercats the movie, which was a 5 episode television series, which was syndicated for many markets, but they also released a videotape with a full cut feature length edition. I think it was closer to 90 minutes, right? The 5 episode series was much longer. It was almost 2.5. It was almost 2 hours and 15 minutes, right? So, what are your thoughts? Well, first of all, what were your thoughts when you first heard of Thundercats the movie when it first came out?
I mean, it's really cool, the fact that they packaged it in the way that it was like a film. Um, Obviously, we know it's a syndicated cartoon, but just to have it compiled that way and presented in the way of like a feature film, it would have been incredible if at some point, and I'm sure in one country or another, this was probably shown in theaters. That would have been badass. You know what I'm saying? Just like they did with G.I. Joe the movie and Transformers the movie. It would have been epic, even if it was just, like a compilation of the syndicated episodes, but just to be played in a movie theater, I think that would have been so epic in the 80s. Do you recall? I never saw it myself, but do you recall the road show where they had like stage actors dressed up like He-Man, and they had a guy dressed up like Lion-O, and it was like a whole I forget how they were marketing it. It was like the Saturday cartoons come to life or something like that. And that was crazy, dude. Being a kid, imagine seeing your favorite cartoon characters coming to life like that back in the 80s. That must have been so epic, man.
So yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. The It's funny because the Sword of Omens in that stage play was actually modeled off of the original box art, where it actually had the eyes were actually molded into the sword. Um, and I remember the entire cast had dressed up like Thundercats. But you're right. It was actually part of several different cartoons
Yeah.
were actually in the show. It wasn't just Thundercats, which is a shame. I thought the Thundercats should have been main stage, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it wasn't like some sort of like Scooby Doo and Thundercats and another cartoon where they bundled them all together in different stage plays. I'm not 100% sure if I'm right on that, but I know that, and I remember it was not just Thundercats, although Thundercats was a big draw at the time, so they were
Correct. I don't recall exactly all the people that were there, but there were some other representations from other cartoons for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can find it.
I'm trying to remember it specifically too, but
Here we go.
it's
Thundercats
been so long.
80s. So it was called Live and On Stage, and it was featuring, oh wow. So it was Gumby, it was
Gumby, yes.
Silverhawks,
That's right. Oh, it was the Silverhawks. Okay.
Tiger Sharks,
No way. So it was
Creek
mostly Rocket
Frog,
Mouse.
and Karate Cat.
You're kidding. Oh wow. Okay, so it was still like the comic strip, right? Because the comic strip was where Tiger Sharks and Karate Cat were heavily
Yes.
featured.
Very
Right.
similar, very similar. And they even had a snarf, dude.
That's all right. Again, I don't mind. I don't mind the snarf. The snarf is. I still think snarf is a very pivotal point for the show. You know what I mean? Again, he
Yeah.
rescued. You know what? Snarf doesn't get nearly as much love as people should give him. The man, the man rescued the Thundercats multiple times. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for him, the Thundercats would still be wrapped up in freaking bandages. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think a lot of people give Snarf enough credit. And I can't remember. Did they ever visit the planet of the Snarfs, or was that an episode, or did they never actually do that?
I don't recall them visiting Planet of the Stars. But yeah, like this is very iconic. Very, it's so cool. I mean, if you go to Hall of Omens Instagram,
Yeah, let me do that.
I can tag you. Hold on, here we go.
You know, it's put the link in the chat. Put the link in the private chat.
Let's get that link.
Yeah, that way I can take a look at it.
Copy link.
I've been looking forward to my thoughts on the Thundercats movie. I remember when they were advertising it on WUTV Buffalo 29 for like weeks before it aired. And actually, Buffalo UTV 2020, Buffalo UTV, WTV Buffalo 29. What they did was on a Saturday, and I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if it happened in your area, JP. But on a Saturday, they broadcast the entire thing in one long movie. They actually took the theatrical cut and broadcast it as a special on a Saturday. I don't know if they did that in your area. And I remember as a kid being glued to the set, and I was pissed off. Actually, I was pissed off because my mom, and I'm a kid. Okay, my mom said, "No, before you get to watch your cartoons, we have to go to church." And I was like, no. I was like, can't we just go on? Can't we go on Sunday? And she's like, no, I have things to do on Sunday. I was like, no. I really wanted to watch this right from the beginning, and I was so upset. I remember, and after church was gone, and the thing is, like, you know how it is, JP. We just don't go to church. That's not how people do it. You don't just go to church. You go to church. And then you go to the local store. In my case, it was Barrio Fiesta, and we would just go there and just hang out with so many different Filipinos or whoever it happens to be in the clergy, and you just freaking talk. So I knew I was going to miss at least the first half of the film, and I was so upset. But yeah, man, it was crazy. By the time I got there, the show had already started. It was 15 minutes into the show, so I didn't see the destruction of Thundera again. Okay, spoilers ahead, guys. The movie starts with the recap of the destruction of Thundera and a dream sequence with Lionel. I missed all of that. And the only thing I saw when I first turned on the TV, I saw, what the heck was that? Okay, there's a bug in here. Yeah, that's not good. The only thing I saw was the village of Humaira, Bengali, and Linkso being attacked with the two Burmans. That was the first thing I saw in the whole movie. And I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked watching what was happening. And again, I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know the Jaga. I didn't know the Jaga had come to them in a dream. I didn't know the Jaga had come to Lionel after his dream and told him that the refugees were alive and he had to go find them. I didn't know any of that stuff. I was just like, who are these new I thought they were Thundercats. I already thought that they were actual Thundercats. I had no idea that they were separated from who are these Burbles? I was like, what's with the Burbles? Like, where did they come from? I was totally outside of that. I had no idea what was going on. So, but me and my brother were just like, we were just mesmerized. We saw this, and the whole just ridiculous. You know what? The reality is, it's a ridiculous movie. Okay, it is an absolutely ridiculous movie. They get caught, they escape. They get caught, they escape. They get moved from a pirate ship to the Captain Shiner's ship, and they're like, why do they keep getting moved from place to place to place? I don't understand what's going on. Just to get to Mumra's pyramid. It it was so contrived. It was just and then here's Mumra on his pyramid. Let's go get them. Captain Shiner, you do this. And it was just absolute pure ridiculousness. But I loved it as a kid. It was just crazy. It was just absolutely nuts. But what was really cool about the movie, I thought, was the fact that every character we'd seen so far got a little bit of time on screen. Captain Shiner was there. Rataro was there. The mutants were there. You know what I mean? Like everybody in the show had a little bit of time. You know what I mean? And it was really neat to see that. But yeah, did you get to see the whole thing throughout the first week, or did you watch it as a TV special on the?
I'm pretty sure I watched it as a TV special. I don't think I saw. Probably didn't. I don't recall seeing the entirety of it. I mean, obviously, I've been watching a lot of Thundercats lately, like for the last year or so on Hulu, and catching up, refreshing my memory because it's been so many years. Like I didn't remember every single episode or every plot or whatever. So it's really awesome and refreshing when you watch these episodes. And it's funny when you're watching cartoons, especially in the 80s, where uh, you see how they get lazy on some episodes where
Yeah.
the artwork is kind of sloppy and it doesn't look quite right,
Yeah.
Obviously, us as children, we probably didn't even notice. But
Yeah.
now as adults, you're like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
They would have some budget cuts or some plot outs and stuff.
The production schedule for most shows dictates that not, and the thing is, you have to remember that back in the 80s, about I'd say 90% of cartoon programming that was done by Sunbow Animation or Reiken Abass or all these studios, they were farmed out to Japan, right? So the problem was that around that time, Japanese animation had become very popular and cheap to farm out for American productions. The problem was that it was getting so popular that they didn't have enough manpower to do it. So what they would do is they would also contract animation companies in Singapore and Korea, who were not as adept at animation at the time like the Japanese were. The Japanese were very good with anime and the dynamic. That whole intro sequence for Thundercats, that's all Japanese. That's all Japanese animation. That's all anime when you think about it, right? And many of the key episodes that were done, especially Thundercats the movie, that was all done in Japan. But whenever you saw something which was a little bit weaker, a little bit not as polished, if you will, that's when okay, this was done in Korea, right? Or and it's funny to say that now because now it's way too expensive to do things in Japan on a normal basis. It actually has been farmed out to Korea. Like the entire Avatar, the Avatar, The Last Airbender, that's mostly Korean animators, and they do it so well. Now they've learned a lot over the years. So yeah, they're right up there with any Japanese animation. So it's a really good. It's a really good, interesting. We should do a whole episode on animation.
Oh, definitely. I think what we should eventually do is do episode reviews where we can.
Oh yeah.
Like people can watch the episode with us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We can review them and stuff.
For sure. So before we get to the real topic for tonight, I just wanted to say, yeah, here. This is it, man. The Hall of Omens posted this on their Instagram page. And I didn't know it was the actual 39. This is 39 years. But that was actually what 2 years, a year ago, 83 weeks.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. So it was last year, right? So okay. There's a fly in here. He's literally
Mumra. It's the mosquito version.
It is. Yes. It is the fly on the wall, Mumra.
He's trying to thwart our stream.
Yes, he is. He's trying his best to make this stream a little bit more, a little bit less awesome. So give me 1 second. I'm just going to try something here. He's literally on the wall beside me. I'm going to see if I can just swat him. Just give me 1 second. Damn it! Nope, I didn't get him. He's a little too fast. He's eating something, so he's a little too fast. But he's annoying as hell. That's the problem here. So I'm going to keep trying to swat this guy. So I hope you guys give me 1 second. But what do you think of these guys? I mean, like, I think Pantro got hit. I think Pantro got hit in the head. JP.
I think for the time that this was done, it looks really good, man. Like, yeah, I mean, Lionel's hair is a little questionable, but that the Wily cat, his hair looks really cool, man. And I think he's wearing a mask because those big cat eyes. It looks like they're all wearing masks, really. And then Panthro seems like he's wearing a bodysuit, like a muscle suit, but he has, I guess it was like a skull cap with ears, because it looks like it's the guy's face. They painted it, and then he had like the bald kind of skull cap with the big ears. But man, for the time, that shit looks really good.
Yeah. I totally agree. I'm quite amazed at what we're seeing here. They look really good as stage performers. You know what I mean? I mean, you can't really expect these guys are just actors, right? They're theatrical actors, and it's kind of like Disney on Ice. You know what I mean? It's gonna be it's gonna be that type of a fun thing for kids, right?
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
the thing. It wasn't meant to be an adult type of thing. It does look like, at least very much so, they're all wearing some sort of mask,
yeah.
right? I can see what you're saying. That must be hot. That
Super
must be
hot.
really hot
Yeah.
because that's kind of crazy. But I remember, funnily enough, I remember in certain commercials. I remember certain commercials, man. I think Snarf fainted. I think he's a puppet. I think Snarf is a puppet.
Snarf's having a heat stroke.
Dude, he's freaking flopped right over. But yeah, I think that I remember in certain commercials. I guess it was because it was commercial that Lino was actually talking. I remember, and I remember it was mostly makeup, right? But I think Lino, Chitara, and actually, I think they all could be just human faces, but it was just that kind of thing. But yeah, I do remember this very specifically, and I always wanted to see it, but it never came to Canada. And if it did, it was on a school day. It was always on a freaking school day, man.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's what I never understood about all these live, like stage shows for kids. Why on a freaking weekday? Like, we're at school, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
That's not cool, man. That was just not cool. I just did not understand that stupidness. Did you ever get a chance to see these guys live?
No. I didn't even know about the existence of this until now, later in my adulthood. I didn't even know this happened.
That's freaking crazy. I always was jealous because I knew that it was happening somewhere in the world, but I was like, I'll never go. And you know what? Not that my parents wouldn't have taken me; they probably would have taken me, but they, at the same time, they just didn't understand. You know what I mean? Like that's just something. That's just something that wasn't really something in their understanding. And
Yeah.
they're like, is it educational? No. Is it this? Is it that? But look at this. See, like
Yeah.
that's his face, and look at these. It's like a stage play for sure,
Yeah,
right?
look
There's
at
Thunder. There's the Silverhawks. There's Gumby. They have rollerblades on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Thundercats was the big draw, man. There's Karate Cat,
Cat.
right? Oh, dude,
cool.
that was so neat. But yeah, it's definitely a stage production. They're all dancing and stuff, right? And I always thought at Madison Square Gardens was the big one because again, that was like 6 hours away from us. You know what I mean? So I was always thinking, we should go to Madison Square Gardens. Huge shout out to IB Retro for posting this video. Guys, you should check out that video. It's really fun. But man, I always wanted to see that show. I always wanted to see it, but I never actually had the chance. Let's add the crew before we get right into it, guys.
Oh yeah, chat's popping.
Yeah, Paul Morales. Thank you for Oh, by the way, guys, if you would do us a big favor, please, please, and I do mean this. Please head over to our new channel, Thundercats Lair. I've put a link in the description where this video is being played, and over here on the chat. But if you could do us a big favor and head over to Thundercats Lair, I'll just show you guys. So just type in Thundercats Lair, and here's the problem: when you do that, you don't really find us yet. But the easiest way to find us is to type in Thundercats Lair Mattel Lazy Repaints. Here, I'll show you. So check it out. So if you type in Thundercats Lair Mattel Lazy Repaints, our one of our videos shows up, and you just click on the logo, and it'll send you over to our new channel, Thundercats Lair, and you'll be able to see all of our past episodes. JP's already done a couple of unboxings, which were a lot of fun. We talked about the Bull Airs sneakers, which JP designed, a very special edition sneaker, limited edition. Did it already get posted, JP, or are you guys still waiting on that?
No, the thing is, it's a mystery pair, so
Gotcha.
Nobody's gonna see them until they drop next year.
Got you. So yeah, we talked about we did a review. We did an unboxing and review on Thundercat Man. On Battlecat Man, on Chitara, on Lion-O. We talked about who actually created Battlecat Man, and we even did a tiny small segment like this, which we talked about the Thundercats movie And of course, we celebrated the fact that Thundercats Classics has now hit 95,000 followers, buddy. Congratulations, JP. Oh my God, 95,000. That isn't crazy.
Not yet. 93.5.
That's getting close. We're almost there.
Super close.
We're almost there, kids. But guys, please head over to Thundercats Lair. I'm gonna put a link in the chat right now. Please head over there. Give us subscribe to us on Thundercats Lair and watch us on the live there, because we would really appreciate it. It really helps grow this channel, and we really want to bring more of this amazing content to you guys. Jason's Electric. Yes, that's right, dudes. We're talking about the Thundercats movie, if there ever will be one. Thundercats home. Thank you, Frankie. Good to see you. Ethereum Wasabi. The cats are loose, man. I love it, man. There's so many of us, JP. There's so many of us.
Yeah,
right.
Man.
I've been on a rewatching Thundercats binge for the past dude. We got to do a watch party. The problem is it gets shut down so quickly. G.I. Joe Cobra Delta 17. Can you post the location of the GameStop that you told to stop filming? I won't do that, brother. I just won't, because I don't want them. You know what? The employees are just doing their job. I don't want them to be, hassled. I understand what it's like to work in a retail environment. I've never done it, but I understand just how crappy it can be. So they don't need anybody telling them, this is terrible, you shouldn't have told Jay to stop. No, it's fine. I still got my toy. I still got the Professor X. It was fine. But thank you, brother. Thank you. I really appreciate your support. I saw your message. On the video. Let's not harass the GameStop employees. Please don't. Okay, they have enough crap to deal with. Okay. There you go, Wasabi. I remember exactly where I was when I saw the first episode. I was 7 or 8. Dude, let me tell you. You know what? Let's talk about this a little bit first. JP, when you were a kid and you watched the first episode, did your eyes bug out of your head like mine did? Because I said, "What's going on? These people are naked." Like, I thought to myself, should I be watching this cartoon? This is crazy. Like, Lionel was naked.
It's crazy, because honestly, I wish there's some people that have such vivid, memories in that sense, where you could like remember, what you were wearing that day and this and that. But I have like bits and pieces, but I don't recall specifically watching Exodus when I was a kid. I don't know if I even watched it when I was little. Who knows? Maybe I caught a glimpse of it, but it's just back then, I don't know. Like, my head was all about collecting Star Wars figures and Voltron and Transformers, and I was just in La La Land. It was like such a simple time. Now as adults, we look at things and it's through a completely different lens, and we catch nuances and stuff in cartoons that you're like, hey, that's a little questionable, but
I know.
In terms of
there wasn't anything wrong with it. The way they presented it was very innocent. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're cats. They're cat people, right? They I remember a couple of things from the 80s. I remember the freaking the play Cats. I remember the musical Cats. And I remember watching the commercials, and they were all dressed in like leotards, and it was they were naked people, man. They were basically naked cats.
Yeah.
So that really didn't faze me much as a kid. I was like, okay, they're naked cats. So I didn't really think twice about it. I thought it was like, a natural thing for the Thundercats. Yeah. But as you said, when I turned around 15, I'm like, wait a second, they were freaking naked. You have that little like, oh, what's going on here? You have that little realization. So
naked with a belt on.
I know. Oh my gosh, it was just that was a differentiator. They had boots. It was crazy. G.I. Joe Cobra 6 Delta 17. People want to call them and tell them that's not cool. Without your filming or live stream, people don't know what's in the stores. No, please don't. Please don't. Please. It's okay. I had a very nice discussion with the staff. They just told me, you have to ask permission. But I was already finished, pretty much, right? There was only one more section that I wasn't able to get to. I respected their decision to tell me, could you please stop? And I did. I stopped, right? And I got my toy, and I politely left. Now, whenever I go into that store, I just ask the staff at the front. I was like, hey, is it cool if I film today, right? And they'll tell me, no, there's too many people in the store. We'd rather you didn't. Or, yeah, there's nobody here. Go for it, right? That happens. So, dude, it's okay. It was just, they weren't rude about it. It was just, it was just a thing. That's all that happened. But thank you. Thank you. My friend was also a Thundercats. I played with his toys. I had G.I. Joe and some He-Man Star Wars. Dude, that's awesome. I love it.
Oh, yeah,
No, brother, no, please don't.
Let
Please.
it go.
It's okay. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. But please don't. Frankie Rivera. The way I feel about Thundercats theme, I feel for DuckTales. DuckTales was an awesome theme too.
DuckTales was awesome, yeah.
Actually, any Disney afternoon intro song is actually really, really cool. They own a freaking record label, right? So it's of no surprise that they do amazing music. Jordan from Canada. A pleasure to be here as always, Thundercats. Thank you, Jordan. Good to see you, brother.
Thank you, man.
Okay, let's see here. Tati Gabrielle for Chitara. Interesting choice. Interesting choice. We might go through one day. We might go through a casting call.
Yeah.
It would be really cool for a fan cast. I think it would be neat. Jason's Electric. Just imagine what the Beastman could do on Thundera. Him and Monkeyin would just be swinging through the trees, man. They'd be swinging through the trees. Kidnapping warrior women and just taking them back to the lair. Oh my god, it's crazy. All right, guys, let's see here. Socially awkward taco. Silverhawks as well. Yes, that was in the play. They look cool. I mean, we saw them, right? Snarf. Yeah, that's right. Adam Colmer. I hope the movie Chitara gets with Lionel. The big, like the movie Big with Tom Hanks, where both the movies become a boy becomes a man. Laws. Yeah, but he never the boy turned back into a boy in Big, so he wasn't getting together with nobody. But I know what you're saying because he became a man pretty quick in that film.
Yep,
he became a man pretty quick in that film. The Nerd with Suit. Snarf is the 3PO Thundercats. No, I think Snarf is way better. I think he's more heroic than 3PO, man. Without 3PO, Luke, Han, and Leia.
He's more like the R2D2 of Thundercats.
Yes, I think that's true. I think it's more R2D2. I think JP's right because it was actually R2 who saved them from the garbage chute. If it wasn't for R2's little those guys would be flattened. Now, does Snarf has the same brains as C3PO? Probably not. But is he as heroic as I think R2D2 is much more heroic than C3PO. I think that's
for sure.
That's just the way that is. 1 out of 10. It aired at night in parts where I grew up. Okay, that's all right. You know, I hope you at least got to see it. Jordan from Canada. Burbles, yes. Those robot bears, dude, they were awesome, man. They built anything. They built the freaking Cat's Lair.
Yeah.
They built that freaking Cat's Lair. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. What's going on, Shao Kahn? How you doing? Anybody else we haven't said hi to yet? Ethereum Wasabi. Looks like it'll be musical. I don't know. I think the days of musicals are almost over. Would you go see it if it did an encore engagement for the 40th anniversary? Yeah. I'd like to see what I missed.
Yeah.
See what I missed.
For sure.
Roland Santiago. Greetings from Milwaukee. I haven't wear the sneakers that I want. Oh, you won a pair of sneakers. Congratulations, brother. That's awesome.
He won the Panthros that I had a giveaway on with Puma.
That's awesome, dude. Congratulations, man. I hope you enjoy them. Those are some great sneakers.
It's hard for me to wear those kind of those shoes because they're so cool that I don't want to get them dirty. Because the Panthros, literally on the sole, there's images of Panthro. There's a clear cell, and you can see Panthro with his nunchucks.
Yeah, you don't want to get that scuffed up or damaged or anything like that. It's so sad. Jordan from Canada, forgive me, but I have soiled myself as a kid when I saw this live. Thundercats and Silverhawks, dude. I wish I could. I wish I could have saw it. I wish I could have seen it. Roland, if I win the Powerball, I will make the movie, dude. Thank you. If you win the Powerball, JP and I will join you on creating something, brother. That would be freaking awesome. Crusher Gideon. I want to get the information on the GameStop location because they asked him to stop building his wild cringes.
Let it go, bro. Come on.
It's okay, guys. It's okay. They're good people. Okay, it's not their fault. They just have a policy. It's okay. But thank you for caring. Thank you so much for caring. Frank Romero, I remember being scared of Mumbra. Yes, bro. The first time Mumbra freaking showed up on screen, I was like, "What is this demonic spawn of hell?" Thundercats was not it was like the next level of kids cartoon.
Yeah.
It was growing up. You know, there was like Care Bears, there was like what's it called, Scooby Doo, and then there was freaking G.I. Joe, He-Man. Sorry, it was the other way around. He-Man, then G.I. Joe, and then freaking Thundercats. And Thundercats was like, it was like you were growing up, man. You saw naked people on the first episode, for crying out loud. You knew something was happening. You knew it.
Yeah, I was talking to Carlos on our stream earlier this week, and it's like, you know, I think one of the things that made the biggest impact on me with Thundercats is like what you're saying. It was a much darker, when it was dark, you know, when you saw Mumra and the pyramid and all that stuff, it was very dark. Whereas even when you saw the villains in He-Man, you know, they were like cross-eyed, they were kind of dorky and wonky, and so there wasn't ever that darkness or that scary vibe that you would get from like Mumra and the Mumra sequences. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, like the thing about Thundercats was, it was actually, and here's some fun facts for you. It was done by the same team who did the Hobbit animations. Do you remember the Hobbit animations, JP? Because they're bringing them back. They're actually bringing up a whole host of different action figures, and I missed it. I'm so pissed off that I missed going to that stupid big gigantic prancing pony bar. I saw it. I should have gone, but I totally missed it. I was so upset. Do you remember the Rankin and Bass, the Hobbit and the Return of the King cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the cartoon.
So if you look at that cartoon,
Bakshi.
Ralph Bakshi was a very different production. So the way it worked, here's we're going back in history now. So the way it worked at the time, the how did it work? Okay. So Ralph Bakshi had secured the rights for the Lord of the Rings. Okay, the cartoon rights for the Lord of the Rings, and he did it through MGM, I believe. He went back to try and get the Hobbit and the Return of the King. No one knew that Rankin and Bass had already secured the rights for the Hobbit. So what happened was, because they had already secured the rights for the Hobbit and done a television special on TV, Ralph actually just said, "Okay, I'll just do a theatrical," right? And he did one. Problem was, the theatrical did so poorly in the theaters that the sequel, which was The Return of the King, never actually got greenlit. It was actually, the studio was like, "No, we're not going to do another movie." So what happened was, Rankin and Bass decided, you know what? If they're not going to finish the trilogy, we might as well finish it. Oh, sorry. And they picked up the rights for they picked up the television rights a few years later and actually did The Return of the King for television. Oh. So that's how that whole debacle happened. And then what happens is where my point picks up. If you look at the goblins in the Lord of the Rings, they're eerily similar in design to Slive. I don't know if you look at if you see them. There's a very similar design. Even the way their hands and their claws are, you really can't see where some of the inspiration for that design aesthetic came from. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of goblins and creatures who look like they literally fit inside Middle Earth from Lord of the Rings on Third Earth. And is it any coincidence that they called it Middle Earth instead of like Third Earth, Middle Earth? It's crazy, right?
Interesting. Yeah, sure.
It's really neat. So here we go. Over the suit. Disney's adaptation of Hercules is going to get an onstage musical. I think they already premiered it in London. That makes sense, though. I mean, the movie is based, like many Disney movies are musicals.
Yeah, every Disney movie is a musical, basically.
Well, I think Atlantis was not. I think Atlantis was pretty much just a straight movie. I'm trying to think of any other movies that didn't really have any musical segments in it from Disney. Not many. There aren't many.
Yeah.
Yeah, there aren't that many at all that haven't been huge successes. Actually, is what I'm trying to say. Cartoons, I mean. Yeah, I'm hard pressed to think about that. Sinelli, Panthro, is this what you want? Take it, mommy. And Northern with a suit. Also, it's interesting because Bakshi's work all was overtly political. It'd be more of a crime or thriller or a fantasy. Wizards is a critique of fascism, and there's all the rights of yes. Many of Bakshi's work, Fritz the Cat, as you said, what's it called, Wizards. Yeah, they all have political undertones. Racism being one of them as well. Fritz the Cat dealt a lot with that. The sexual revolution, so many different things that were happening in Bakshi films. And again, his films are timeless for that. Fire and Ice was one of the ones which was purely fantasy. But even that had had some political things, different countries trying to invade different countries, Anyway, we're not going to get into that kind of thing right now, but it's crazy. Bakshi doing a fantasy like Tolkien when he decided to tackle it was very much uncovered ground for him. Yes, 100%. Absolutely. And I love Atlantis. Atlantis is a great film. Yeah. Atlantis is an incredible film. Anybody who hasn't seen it, you guys go to watch Atlantis. Motu Thunder, what's going on, bro? I don't believe that there will be a Thundercats movie having been tried so many years. There's always a chance.
Yeah.
Especially now with Master Universe. Here's the thing, JP. I'm going to go on record as saying this. If the Thundercats movie can at least make back its original budget, I think that Thundercats movie has a very, very good chance of actually becoming a movie.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, it's very telling with Motu actually happening after it's like 10 years that it's been in production hell. But it seems like, we haven't seen anything but the logo so far, right? But from what I've read, like on posts and social media and stuff.
Well, we've seen the sword. We've seen the costume that at least on the back, we've seen the costume of what He-Man wears.
We know there's a lot of characters in it, like a lot of.
Yes. And we have seen Tila on Elite.
Yeah.
Technically. Right. So we do know that the movie's done. Right. Principal photography is finished. We know that. Now they're in post-production. We're going to see a trailer this December. I can almost guarantee it, JB. I can almost guarantee we're going to see a trailer. All right. Last comment, then we're going to actually get to the meat and potatoes today. And Ryder, I know how it feels like Robotech has been produced for that much, maybe 20 years. I don't think Robotech's ever going to get a movie, unfortunately. I think Voltron's movie is a miracle. I'm not going to lie. And they are keeping that. They're keeping that SOB under wraps.
Super secret.
It is the secret project of secret projects.
Guarded more than Roswell. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Freaking fly, man. I'm gonna give me one good strike. You're dead. Nerd with the Suit. Heavy Traffic is my favorite Bakshi film. Yep. You guys check out all the Bakshi films. They are all very interesting. All right. So JP, let's do some speculating and take a look at some amazing videos that were actually, AI driven, but have given us a glimpse at what's possible for Thundercats, the movie. If we head over to our good friends over at Thundercats Classics, they have posted up some amazing clips of Thundercats possible movie tie-ins, and I want to take a look at this because these are freaking awesome here. So JP, these are posted by you at various times, and I really am enamored by what I'm seeing here. So let's zoom in on this one and let's take a look at this because this is freaking crazy. So here, refresh, and the first thing we see is what the heck? Okay, I made a mistake. I refreshed every single thing. All right, here we go. So the first thing we see is an image of Lord Lion-O taking his sword up and calling down the power of Thundera. And why is it going? Okay, hold on. What's going on here? Okay, I got a couple of things going on in the background. So hit and refresh again. All right. Do you know who created this? It was originally Only My Toys.
I believe Only My Toys. I'm not sure if he put the prompts in and generated it, but they always collaborate with me. They send me this footage and I share it on my platform. I'm not sure if he's the one that's actually responsible directly for the creation of these, but he does send them to me.
These look amazing. Oh my God, these look crazy. And you know what? You and I have talked about this. you really would rather it be live action, not a cartoon, right? Or not CG generated or
This
anything like that.
like this like this is what I would like. I don't want animation. I don't want,
But
you know,
this is animation.
no,
You know,
no, but what I'm talking about is like this is animation. Obviously, it's AI, but um, I want to see live action actors with effects. You know, you can make the eyes glowing and stuff like that. But I want to see actual actors' likenesses and either have
so
prosthetics or stuff like that because
Avatar, because Avatar, the way Weta Digital is able to make human beings as creatures,
Mhm.
like Gollum, like the Navi, right? They look so realistic. They look so real, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I think this is close to it. This is very close. I love the way Lionel looks. He looks freaking amazing. You know what I mean? Holding up the Sword of Omens. Even the Sword of Omens is slightly stylized there,
yeah,
but it's so good. Chitara looks amazing. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And yeah, they look like real people. I think that's what AI is getting crazy, man. AI is getting really crazy. I'm not sure. I'm not so hyped about Tigra. What do you think about
Yeah,
Tigra?
no, I don't like. I get it because a tiger has stripes, so it makes sense where they added the stripes on the face, but that's not, the accurate representation. Every other character here is very accurately represented. I even like Snarf.
Yeah,
Snarf looks cool,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. So this one is definitely in the right direction. I think that like if we were to actually have a show or a movie, I think you're right. This is the type of direction I would really be leaning towards. Is this the same video? Because I think this like you posted this. Oh no, okay. Or was that just a tease? No,
Mm,
there it is.
No,
Yeah, see,
this is talking about like how people have written. I've had like so many comments, dude.
yeah.
Like this thing has like 4 million views. Like it's basically people saying, "Wow, this has to happen." People asking me, "When is this movie coming out?" Like it's been crazy. And then Only My Toys has sent this reel talking about how it's in Spanish, but
Yeah.
talking about how
Oh, look at
he
that.
doesn't want a Thundercats movie because he feels that Hollywood nowadays is going to do that instead of having
Yeah, they're
this
gonna corporatize
Chitala,
it. Yeah.
instead of having this pumped up like awesome looking Panthro, they're gonna want to have him talking about his feelings with Slide and stuff like that.
Wow,
So
that's crazy.
yeah, and it makes a lot of sense because it's true how they ruin things like the Eye of Thundero have notifications on it. And, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, and, sad but true, Tesla would be like like a sponsor of the movie and stuff.
Oh my god,
They
that
were
is
giving
just
me
so
examples of
ridiculous.
these movies, the Saint Seiya
Yeah,
and the Dragon
Ball.
Ball.
Yeah.
They were like complete disasters. So it's a really interesting observation as a reel, but then you look at these characters, it's like, wow, dude. Imagine, look at that Jaga, dude.
I know, bro. It is a dream though, right? It's a dream. But look at these guys. All the lunatics, all the vehicles,
Speaking of
you
the
know.
movie, I had I busted out my custom Mumra because when I did this custom Mumra figure, what I had in mind was like, how cool would a live action Thundercats movie be, and how I would want a Mumra to look like. So I made this custom, which I'm pretty sure you've seen it. I've posted it before. But you know, this is something very close to what we could possibly see in theaters. When if it becomes a live action movie, is this.
Yeah, I mean, let's just take a quick look at some of these. I mean, we just missed Vulture Man, but look at Mongor here, man. Like, oh my god,
Yeah, that's
that is
crazy.
crazy. I'm surprised a character like this was even created in the cartoon. You know what I mean? This is Beelzebub. You know what I mean? This this is crazy. Which is what I mean. Like the Rankin and Bass designers, they pushed it, man. They pushed it. Even the eyes, the way they go sideways, like just crazy. And okay, it's hard. The tug mug here, like
Mhm.
like wow. Unfortunately, it's hard to pause without without getting that triangle there. But yeah, and then we got Monkey in, and of course he just disappears. Look at Mama. Mama is awesome. Now, arguably, he's probably the easiest out of all of them to actually create, right?
Yeah.
But still, there's a lot there, and of course, like I said, Panthro, right? I mean, God, these guys look so good. I would love to see. You know what? Here's the thing about these, right? Do you think? Let me ask you this now, JP. Do you think that maybe the fans should just try something? Because let me show you something. Well, first of all, before I do that, let's go to your next post. So this was another post, and it's not nearly as realistic as the other one, but it still has a really great feel to it. You know what I mean? Like the Silver Hawks. Look at that, right? The look at Chitara. You know, like crazy, right? But this is more animated. You know what I mean? These don't look as realistic as the last run. Now this is also Only My Toys. He did this as well.
I think so. I don't know if he does the prompts, he actually generates the AI, or if he has somebody else doing it for him. But
this is crazy. This is awesome. I'm more like I love Silverhawks, but I'm really much more partial to. I would rather have a Thundercats movie. The problem with it though is it's easier to make a Silverhawks movie than it is a Thundercats movie. I have to admit that, right? Because we already know how science fiction will work, right? We already know we can build sets for science fiction. We already know that it's easy to put a man in a suit or a woman in a suit, and we can make it work. But let me tell you something straight up, okay? Silverhawks will not look like Silverhawks the way we imagine them here. They will never dare, not in a million years, to put this kind of detail on a man, and they will never, ever, ever put Steelheart into a bodysuit like that. It'll never happen. You know what I mean? Because even right here, even like, I'm sorry, this this suit will never be the way it looks here. It will never be. Like, this is literally what's it called? A latex bodysuit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like absolutely. Like this is not something that will actually happen. They won't do it. Like even in the intro sequence of as we talked about it earlier in the beginning, in the intro sequence of the Silverhawks, you never thought about it as a kid. You never thought about it as a kid. But when they did the pan up sequence with Steelheart, yeah, they did a really close up view for many things, which today would be like, you know, you'd raise your eyebrow. But back then we were kids. We didn't know any better, right? But like I said, this iteration will never be on screen. I'm sorry to say, but and that's sad. That is really sad. They should give us exactly what we remember as
when it comes to Silverhawks, I don't think it has as much clout as Thundercats, so I wouldn't expect the Silverhawks feature film anytime soon.
Which is unfortunate, but you know, the question I wanted to ask there. See, we would never see this.
No.
Even today, you know, there are a lot of people who are not happy with the Super 7 edition of Steelheart. They're saying that they changed her design, actually, which is crazy. You know, a lot of people are saying she's a lot thinner. You know, she has a little bit more detail in certain parts of the character. And a lot of people have told me multiple times, they're like, you know, like some people have actually resculpted it. So it is interesting how fans react to different media. So that's crazy. Let's take a look at another one here. This is crazy, and this is something where, you know what, these new freaking what's it called? AI generators using toys. This is nuts. This is crazy. This was done by Where He Get Them Wonderful Toys. I love it. Where He Get Them Wonderful Toys. This is nuts. I mean, like, Lionel's building a harem for himself. He's got Cheetah and he's got Tigra. Oh my god. This is just wow. Like, and this was done with a program called Naku. This is crazy. What do you like when you got this? Jeez Louise, when you got this in your inbox, JP? what were your first thoughts? I remember the first time I saw one of these, I was blown the freak away.
It was funny, man. It's funny. It's just the fact that, they're making Lionel look like a player and
I
stuff.
know, dude. He's building his own harem, bro. He's literally building his own harem. It's freaking crazy. You know, the Lord of the Thundercats. He got his fans, man. He got his fans. Oh my god! I was literally like, this is nuts. This is crazy. But what do you? So this is the thing. I'm starting to think that we as fans could probably make a pretty damn good movie using AI. But there's so here's the thing. It's that really terrible line that you draw. Because even the moment I even mention something like that, people are jumping down my throat. You know what I mean? They're like, how dare you? How dare you take jobs away from people? How dare you disrespect the artist? How dare you do this? How dare you do that? What, should we? So this is the question now, JP. And I have similar feelings. I really do. Because I myself am in the graphic design industry. You know what I mean? You're a designer. Your design, as a matter of fact, we're going to take a look at some of your designs just now. But what are your thoughts? Like should AI be allowed to do these things, or should it just be used as a tool for generating ideas? What are your thoughts on AI?
I mean, dude, it's kind of it's a very sketchy subject because as creators and artists, this really kind of poses a threat, particularly because of the fact that artists, styles and their specific, yeah, their styles and their unique approaches to work is being straight up stolen and reproduced in these AI generators, So it's kind of like I feel like the only way you can not get your stuff replicated somehow is by being old school and having everything analog and not posting anything on social media and just keeping your stuff in galleries and not sharing it. You know what I mean? Being more kind of like a hermit where you're gatekeeping your stuff, but then how do you succeed? How do you make a living doing your art? But that's kind of like where it's getting right now, where if you have a specific style that people gravitate towards, eventually, someone's just going to go on an AI application and be like, I want to render this in the style of so and so. And you're going to get art. And then people are going to be like, wait a minute, when did this guy do this? I was like, no, it's AI generated. This guy never did that piece,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I don't know. I feel like it would be great. It should be like music where, there should be royalties, shit like that. It shouldn't be just like, oh, well, this is technology and you got to sink or swim. I don't
But
know.
okay, so there's that angle, right? But
Yeah.
what if you are a CG artist? Okay, what if you are a CG artist and you say, okay, I want to do an animation, and you basically take your artwork, you apply it in AI, and you let AI do an animation, right? Because you are the artist and you are creating this AI generated thing in conjunction with AI, I think there's some leeway there because again, you are producing something which is AI generated, but you are directing. You are now becoming a director. You are directing the AI to do with your work what you want it to do.
I think that's different because you're doing it.
Yeah.
It's your creation. You're choosing to use AI to bring your stuff to life.
Yeah.
But it's what I'm saying, like for artists and like even, actors, they're talking about like doing 3D scans of actors and then like using their likenesses in films and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's terrible. That's
You
a
know?
different thing. It's not, that's you're absolutely right. That is just absolutely horrid.
Like there's got to be borders that don't get crossed. You know what I mean?
Yes, I totally agree. That's something, and that's actually why the film industry and the Actors Guild are fighting so hard right now to protect the rights of actors, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So here's now having seen that Lion-O animation, check this out. So Nexus Models Workshop. I want to get you guys should definitely check this guy out. He's doing some incredible work, honestly, with this new Naku Naku program. Head over to his channel, Rodolfo Martinez.
Rodolfo Martinez, you.
Yeah. Sorry, Rodolfo. That's right. Sorry. Rodolfo Martinez, right? Rodolfo Martinez, he needs more subscribers. I got to tell you. Now, take this as you will, because again, he didn't make these figures. They're all Masterverse figures, but what he was able to string together here is pretty freaking crazy. I'm going to show you one of his clips, but you have to watch his entire. I call it a mini movie. The Forgotten Dungeons of Dragonskull Parts 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Watch this set of animations because it's an entire storyline based off of an episode or his own take on the Forgotten Dungeons of Grayskull. But I'm going to show you what he did with Evelyn and I guess he did is basically he created a diorama and let AI do things with instruction. So this is freaking amazing. Check this out, JP. Look at this. This is crazy. Like, basically they're wandering through the hallways of Castle Grayskull, and he's got an actual narrative going on here, right? The lip syncing is not perfect, right? By the way, guys, if you can't hear the audio, that's because it's not playing through the speakers. But basically, this really has given opportunity for artists and small like young directors. And we saw a tussle there between Tila and Merman, right? So you can see what the possibilities for filmmaking and things are happening here. Even some of the fight sequences are just crazy, right? Yeah. So what I'm saying is, and again, I know people are going to jump down my throat for even suggesting this, but sometimes I wonder, and I say this all the time. Oftentimes, not just sometimes, oftentimes the fans are doing it better, right? Oftentimes the fans are doing better. And sometimes it might just be a case where if they're not doing a freaking Thundercats movie, maybe it's about time we just, grab the whole bunch of accounts for some AI generation and just get at least a concept trailer out, right? Because if you remember how Deadpool got the green light? I don't know if you remember how that. Basically, Ryan Reynolds. It was a freaking espionage, like internal espionage bullshit, man. Ryan Reynolds actually stole a CG test footage, right, and leaked it out to the internet, and the fans went absolutely bonkers. You know what? They lost their shit, right? Imagine if we put together an actual trailer with a proper narrative, with a decent to drum up some excitement, because it's already happening. GP, it's already happening, but everything that we've seen so far are just these weird little, kind of tests, basically proof of concept, kind of little turns or little walk cycles or little, magic things. There's really no actual narrative or direction.
Right.
But if you get something like this, where somebody can actually put together a string of little small scenes and put together a fucking trailer, I don't know, man.
It'll build super hype, man.
Yeah. And then after that, you put together this trailer, which is a proof of concept that people will love it. Then you take that to like a Netflix, or you take it to an MGM Studios, or you take it to somebody and say, hey, Prime Video, how about we make a direct-to-video film for Thundercats? You know what I mean? With live action, with CGI, give us $100 million and we'll get it done, man. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And again, like I said, like a lot of people are going to jump down my throat and say, "How dare you, Jay? How dare you, suggest that AI is something that you could use together. But you know what? Sometimes use as a tool properly, we can really affect some sort of like decision making.
Yeah,
And the
it's very
reality is, sorry, go ahead.
no, it's very possible. It's like I said, those videos that you just shared, they've had millions of views and had people from all across the world commenting and saying how nostalgic and how amazing it would be to get their favorite character IP represented in a film, and you just see the comments. It's insane.
Yeah,
So it definitely makes an impact. And
yeah.
if we share it to a broader audience, it could probably definitely make some waves in
Yeah.
Hollywood.
I mean, and you know what? It's crazy too because even the Power Rangers, it could have a kick-ass movie. Like we had a Power Ranger movie a little while ago, and it was decent. You know what I mean? But they haven't really talked about revisiting it at all. You know what I mean? I think that there are a lot of IPs out there which are really really strong and could really benefit from the Hollywood treatment, but it has to be done right.
Yeah.
I just watched the live action version of How to Train Your Dragon, and I love How
Amazing.
to Train Your Dragon. I love How to Train Your Dragon. I watched. Did you watch the live action?
Yeah, dude.
Okay. Here's my problem with it. Beat for fucking beat for fucking beat. It was the same freaking movie, man. It was the same freaking movie. Like quite
Yeah.
literally every freaking scene, the whole narrative of the film was exactly the freaking same.
Yeah.
They didn't try anything different. They didn't try a damn thing, right? There were a few little scenes, like Snot Loud, him and his dad have this weird thing going. I think that was the weirdest thing in the whole film.
Yeah.
And there are a few additional scenes that they added, but other than that, for the freak's sakes, every single thing was exactly the same. Now, here's the problem with that. Now, here's the reason for that. Fans have always been saying, you might as well just make the exact same movie but in live action. You know what? This proves that you can't do that. You just can't. Now, it made a ton of money. It made a ton of money. So they're going to make a sequel. I hope they do something different with the sequel. You know what I mean? One area that actually really did that well was The Last of Us. The Last of Us live action movie, television series. It is in almost most of it. Most of the show is beat per beat per beat, more or less the same as the video game. They strayed away in the first season with a couple of episodes here or there, but for the most part, it's almost exactly on point. The second season, though, was going off on its own. It's doing its own thing, and I'm hoping that that's what they're going to do with How to Train Your Dragon 2. Because the second season is surprising everybody. Because, again, if you play the video game, you know exactly what's going to happen in the show, but that's not what's happening in the show now. The show's going in a way different direction now. It's very different. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen in The Last of Us 2. But, yeah, man, I really have high hopes for a Thundercats film. And I really do hope that something will come out of it. Let's take some comments before we take a look at some artwork from Mr. JP himself, because I'm excited to see that. MRider777, at some point, I think AI is going to replace movies, and we can make our own movies. I hope not. I really don't. Because you know what? We are terrible at making movies. We're not freaking filmmakers. The movies we okay, they're going to be crap. We're going to make the worst movies ever. They're going to look cool. They're going to look cool, JP. But they're going to be the absolute trash movies, man. They're going to have terrible narratives. They're going to do so much crap. Jordan from Canada. AI is controversial, but the 70s casting of modern movie franchises are astonishing to see.
Oh, yeah. Those are cool.
Yep. Dave Sinelli. Snarf didn't have his big bag of chips. I love that. I love Snarf's big bag of chips. That was so good. Jordan from Canada. Silverhawks footage is so lit. But we'll never see it, bro. Not that way. They're gonna have these Iron Man type suits. They're not gonna cut them up like RoboCop. It's not gonna happen. Let's see here. South Amateur Hour. What's going on, brother? How you doing tonight? Dave Sinelli. They need to obtain copyrights, or in this case, copycat rights. Aha. Dave is always good for the puns. No Chewing in the house. What's going on, No Chewing? Good to see you, brother. Always good to see No Chewing. Guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to No Chewing on Instagram. Wonderful toy photographer. Part of the Toy Daddies. You guys should check him out. Jordan from Canada. The Power Ranger movie from 2017 aesthetically borrowed a lot from the fan film. This is true.
Yeah.
This is very true, actually. And now that guy's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble, unfortunately. The director of that fan film. Mythic Dolphin's in the house. What's going on, Mythic Dolphin? The Mythic Dolphin is real. Good to see you. Always good to see the Mythic Dolphin. I sent you an email on our Hatter Toys email. Please check it out, Mythic Dolphin. No chewing, saying hi to everybody. Jason Ellie, AI is good for presentation, and anything in those lines, it should never be misused, which is impossible. It will always be misused.
I agree.
All right. And the last one before we actually check out some wicked artwork from our good friend JP. Mike Retro, Motu Snake Lair needs 1,681 backers for Pythonus. We got 2 days left. I will be pushing until the very end, guys. Don't worry. We'll try again. We'll try to get it. It happened for the Snowcat. It can happen for the Snake Lair.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm excited to take a look at these because our good friend JP over at Thundercats Classics has produced what I believe would be a really cool looking upgrade. At least we hope so anyway. So JP was not happy entirely with the design for a new character that was already announced. So he decided to take it upon himself and actually create his own character. What are we looking at here, JP? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. What do we got here?
I mean, so essentially, we've talked about it, right? Where I feel like Panther Man was a very lazy repaint. And I just proved it here visually that you can actually get elements that are already existing without creating new tooling. So essentially what I did was I gave him Skelra's skirt and I just repainted it in Panther's green hues, and then brand new Panther head. And if you notice, the fangs are actually going down, whereas Battle Cat's fangs were up.
Got you.
Give him more of a menacing kind of face, and it should be a unique head sculpt. It shouldn't be the same Battle Cat Man head. But then if you go to the next image, I completely changed his helmet. So I think that's more justifiably a thing to have him have that kind of ram helmet that we first saw in Motu Classics when the Horsemen did their rendition of Panther. I think that would really set it aside. I still haven't decided what kind of logo I want to put on the chest, but I literally did this in like the last 30 minutes before we went on live. So
it's still a work in progress. But you know what? I see where JP's coming from. I mean, in our last video, in our last live stream, we did ask the question, are these lazy? And actually, I put that into an episode on its own, and that episode is actually hit over 1,000 views now. So really the question is, where are they going with this new set of action figures? And is it the direction that we want it to be? And obviously what JP is trying to showcase is that here, if you want to do what is very popular in Master Universe, to reuse existing parts to actually create something new, you can do that. And then basically print out a brand new head, which really should be done. This should not be the same head as Battle Cat. That's terrible. It should be his own unique head sculpt. The new headdress should be its own unique headdress. I totally agree. I like the horns. I like the ideas. And yeah, I mean, like, it makes sense. He should have a longer skirt. Like that would very much fall in line with his idea of Skeletor, right? And maybe that bone heraldry right in the middle. The little nods to the fact that he is a herald of Skeletor.
Right.
I totally understand, and I totally get it. And this can be done. This can be done.
Yeah, no, and it's very simple. I mean, all they gotta do is sculpt out a new head portrait, repaint, and just reprint Skelra's skirt, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I totally get it, and I totally agree. There's still time. Maybe as JP has said, maybe if enough people say, "Hey, we need to do something more with these characters," and give them more respect, for the crossover that this is. Maybe a lot more fans will actually be interested in picking up this line, because this line is actually pretty damn good. I'm actually very
it's cool.
excited.
Yeah, it's really cool. And as a matter of fact, just talking about this topic, I think Wave 2 is starting to pop up. So I posted the first in-hand images on my Instagram, and it looks like it was what's this guy's name? Toy_shock99. He has images of He-Man, Panthro, and Tigra, and they're in box, out of the box. The Panthro looks cool. I don't like the color scheme on Tigra, unfortunately, and the He-Man is cool. We already kind of talked about it, but I just want to get mine in hand so I can actually have a first person opinion. Because it's one thing is to see other people's pictures, and another thing is to hold it in your hands and actually play with it and everything.
Yeah. So this is what we're talking about, guys. They have started arriving, and people are already starting to do reviews. So it's going to be a great thing. And I think, JP, you're on the hunt for these right now, and hopefully we'll be able to see these guys. But you know what? First off, I'm actually much happier now to seeing the in-hand version of what the heck? I'm actually very, very much happier to see the in-person version of in-hand version of Panthro, because at one point I was like, the color scheme looks off, something's wrong, right? But now seeing him like this, I'm actually quite excited.
I'm not too keen on the idea of the fading airbrush work. I feel like that should have been like a solid line, like in cartoons, where there's a clear separation between the clearer tone and the darker tone. And I really do not like the color scheme on Tigra at all.
Tigra's a little bit faded. He literally looks like he's been in the sun too long. Because the blue in his boots is way more defined than his overall color scheme. Like this should be like a much richer taupe. You know what I mean? It should be much more vibrant, and his skin should be incredibly vibrant. I mean, Panthro's skin is quite vibrant, actually, right? Mm-hmm. And I see what you're saying about the fade, but I don't technically mind it as much. But I know where you're coming from, JP. I do. He-Man is an interesting look. He actually looks way more. He looks really soft, in my opinion, and I'd have to see him in person, because that is not what I was expecting for He-Man. I was expecting somebody as big as Panthro. And why is Panthro so huge? What the heck happened to Panthro? He's been taking growth hormone.
Yeah.
Panthro's gigantic. Holy crap. Crazy. I think somebody got the size chart wrong on that one. That's a bit of a misnomer right there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for joining us this afternoon. It's been amazing hanging out with you guys. Please head over to Thundercats Classics. Give them a like and a follow. They are at 93,500 subscribers. Just about to hit 95. This is freaking amazing. I am super, super excited for Thundercats Classics. And, of course, please subscribe to our channel, Thundercats Lair. Basically, youtube.com/Thundercats Lair. And we have a lot of great episodes coming up. And one of our episodes has actually hit 1.2 thousand. Thank you guys for that. Awesome. Of course, it is. It is the episode we're actually talking about here, right? Really, Mattel? Honestly? So we'd like to get your opinions on that episode, guys. We did also unboxing of Thundercat, Battle Cat Man, Chitara, and Lion-O from the new Thundercats, Master Universe X Thundercats, and some other great episodes, which we hope you guys will enjoy. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It's this evening. JP, what are you working on, brother? And how can people reach you, my friend?
Oh, as always, Thundercats_classics on Instagram. Get some really awesome stuff cooking from the realm, from _the realm. If you're into horror and action figures, me and my team are coming up with a solid action figure Kickstarter. It should be hopefully launching early 2026. And yeah, stay tuned for a lot more stuff as it gets revealed, as far as stuff that I've been working on. Some stuff can't be spoken of yet, but can't wait to share it with public.
And the From the Realm is actually a featured toy creator showcase on the Four Horsemen. I believe this is actually the going to be at the convention, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yes, we will be officially at Legion's Con as an exhibitor. So yeah, super excited about that, and stay tuned for more details on what to expect from us there.
Awesome. So, guys, don't forget From the Realm. You know what? Why don't I just bring up From the Realm? So from _ realm. Guys, definitely head over to From the Realm. You can see some amazing new action figures being developed here by JP and, of course, Carlos of the Badass Reviews. These are freaking amazing. You guys should check out all of the wonderful designs. Head over there. Head over to Thundercats Classics. Head over to the Badass Reviews. Give them all a like and follow. Tell them that the Thundercats Lair sent you. JP, thank you so much for being here tonight, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, awesome. We are the Thundercats Lair, and we hope to see you soon. Last comments before we log off. Ulktar? What am I saying here? JP, can you pronounce that?
Ulktar.
Okay, we're going to go with Ulktar. Apologies if we're mispronouncing that. I just hope the Thundercats doesn't add some random character no one asked for, like in the Mortal Kombat movie. That's always going to be the case. More toys have to come, so you never know, brother. But you know what? I hope that introducing a new character, they will be pivotal to the story. That I think is important. Mitchell Lawrence. If the Master Universe is filmed successful, I can see Thunder. Yes, I totally agree. If Master Universe does well, Thundercats will follow. Dave Sanelli, Panthor O. No. Jordan from Canada, excellent mock-ups. Thank you, brother. JP is doing some excellent work. Definitely follow Thundercats Classics. He's got a surprise coming for us later this year. We hope. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
Keep your eye on Comic-Con, guys. Something's cooking.
Yeah.
Something's cooking. Dave Sanelli, everybody was cat fu fighting? Yes, they were. Mitch Lawrence, I got Skelra last week. Great figure. I'm looking forward to getting more in hand from this Motu X Thundercats line. I am very excited at what the future brings. And Jordan from Canada, thank you guys. #1 hashtag Thundercats love. Thank you, brother. We really appreciate it. We will see you guys next time. Let's end this off one more time. JP, ready? 3, 2, 1. Thundercats.
Ho!
We're gonna get that one day, guys.
We'll get it.
Remember, it's 3 Thundercats.
Thank you, everybody. Have an awesome Labor Day.
You too, guys. Take care.
Bye.